this is also meant for people who have any insecurity that rules their life. I didn't take senior photos. I'm not in the senior yearbook. I literally wouldn't look in the mirror. Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to my channel. Sorry, but first of all, it's kind of hard where to look because I am filming this video on my phone because I've had lots of technical problems, also known as my computer literally doesn't work anymore. My earring is not even in. Today's video, we're going to be talking all about acne and how it really kind of took control of my life for a really long time, for probably like 7 years, because it was all throughout high school and then like a couple of years even after high school it continued to affect me. So it's just going to be kind of a chill video, and hopefully, oh my god, if you guys can hear that, oh no. Okay, so first of all, before we get into it, I just want to talk about the state of my skin right now and point out to you guys that I do have a couple videos actually up on my channel talking about my skincare routine. I will link the most recent one that I have on my page down below. That I am not really struggling. I'm not currently struggling with acne. Now, obviously, do I still get acne? Yes, usually it's around my period or sometimes it's not, but for the most part, I don't really get it anymore. I don't want to be that girl who's like, I don't get acne. I struggled with it for a really long time. So since I'm editing these on my phone, it's always a little bit more tricky inserting photos, but I'm going to try to insert photos of what my skin used to look like. And even up until like a year ago, like my skin was still having these problems. So, you know, people who struggle with acne, you know that acne is a journey. It's not just usually, for most people, it's not usually just like a one thing that works for them. Usually it's, you know, a long journey of error and trial and error and trial. So I will definitely do an updated skincare routine, but I also will link down my most recent video for you guys to watch after this. But so I started to get acne like freshman year of high school, and when I was first getting it, it was all on like my forehead. So but then like sophomore year all the way up until like 2 years after graduating, I never had any forehead acne. I was like, not forehead acne, I was all on my cheeks, and it was just always so frustrating. It was like, you know, I'd go to school and are they looking at me or are they looking at my acne? And that might sound crazy, like, what do you mean, are they looking at you or are they looking at your acne? Like, no, I mean like literally, like, are they looking at me or do they just see my acne? Definitely wasn't cystic acne, but it definitely really controlled my life. And the point of this video, you guys, what I'm trying to say is that this is meant for people with acne, but this is also meant for the overall big story is every single day, okay? Like, you don't have to just have acne for this video to relate to you. Just thought I should say that. But so basically, senior year came and it was the worst. It was the worst. I was really stressed out. I was sleeping in every day, missing first and period classes all the time. I could not get it together. I would go to bed at 3 a.m. and then oversleep my alarm and then go to school at 8 a.m. and like, it was just the worst. Like, high school sucked the life out of me. I'm really going to be honest about that, and I'm definitely going to do videos talking about my high school experience because it really wasn't the best. So senior year, it was just the worst. It was the worst because I had to go to school every day, and by senior year a lot of my classmates like weren't struggling with acne anymore because most of them, like, that was like their freshman sophomore year. So no, I didn't you know, like, it's so sad. Sometimes I'd be sitting there in class and I'd look around and I'd be like, I'm literally the only one with acne here. And like, that is like so true, and I feel so shitty saying that, but at the same time, like, I would literally look around and be like, no one here has, like, I'm literally the only person that has this intensive acne. I ran out of storage. I love filming on my phone. So basically at this point, I want to point out I had never been to a dermatologist before. I didn't see my first dermatologist until senior year, and honestly the reason for that was just because I don't know, like our insurance, like easily we could have gone to a dermatologist and I could have asked. I think it was just like, it was hard for me to admit to my parents for a really long time that it did bother me. Like my dad would always try to bring it up and like ask if I, want to try this or this, and he was always trying to be really supportive about it, and it was just like, I just wasn't ready to admit that it bothered me. So then senior year came, and when I talk about how bad this insecurity got, you guys want to see a realistic morning routine? Okay, everyone's always like, realistic morning routine. My senior year morning routine before school was literally, oh my god, so sad. It was the alarm, hit snooze 20 times, stay in the same baggy shirt that I wore, put on some leggings, put on shoes, literally, I'm not kidding, don't look in the mirror. I don't turn the light on. I literally wouldn't look in the mirror. I wouldn't brush my hair. And literally, when I'm telling you, I would put foundation or concealer over all my pimples and not look in the mirror, because it was so depressing to look in the mirror. It was so much easier to just go to school and not look at myself, which sounds so sad. And if I'm sure if any of my family heard me say that, they'd be heartbroken. So that's how bad it got. Talk about dermatologists. There's really good dermatologists and there's really bad dermatologists. The first dermatologist I went to, she was actually sane. Let's talk about her. My mom had just heard that she was a good dermatologist, so we went to her, and immediately within talking to them about my acne, I just felt very, it didn't feel good. It didn't feel like a safe space, because I remember this vividly. I'll probably remember it for the rest of my life when I'm taking my daughter to the dermatologist, or my son. Dermatologist asked me, what kind of skin do you have? Do you have dry skin? Do you have combo skin? Do you have oily skin? Like, what type of skin do you have? And I was like, honestly, I don't know. And she laughed. Her and their dermatologist assistant laughed, literally laughed in my face. And after that, my voice just got so shaky, because I was like, you guys, sometimes it's hard to tell what type of skin type you have. I know people who are 30 and don't know what type of skin they have, and honestly, why don't you ask me questions about my skin? Whereas okay, after you wash your face, does your face feel like this? How does your face feel throughout the day? Do you feel like you have to continuously wipe off oil? Ask me questions like that. Don't ask me what type of skin type I have and then laugh in my face when I say I don't know. She was the worst. First, what she had done was she put me on antibiotics, and I have heard other dermatologists do this, but then I've also read online that that's you should not be taking antibiotics for a long period of time. Antibiotics are meant to, you put someone on them when they need to kill an infection, and then once that infection is all taken care of, you get them off of it. So basically, I didn't even take the medication long enough to see the adverse effects that taking antibiotics for a prolonged period of time can do to someone. You had to take them 3 times a day, and you have to eat a lot and drink a lot of water and everything before you take it. And basically, they just made me sick to my stomach. They made me throw up all the time. I would take them, and then they make me throw up everything, and they were just the worst. So I stopped taking them. I refused to take them. And actually, later down the line, my mom ended up taking them because she was actually dealing with rosacea, but she thought it was acne, and she took them for a long time, and she had a lot of it's not my place to talk about what happened to my mom, but literally she had so many side effects that no one wants to go through. So screw that dermatologist for telling us to do that. And then so she also at the same time had me on 2 different topicals, and she put me on clindamycin and I think a retinol, and she didn't give me any information, whereas now I would know, okay, if I'm putting retinol on my face, I'm gonna moisturize a lot, right? No, she didn't tell me anything like that. So basically, I would put these topicals on morning and night every single day, and my skin was so dry. It was literally flaking off. The corners of my lips were so crusty, I couldn't even open my mouth without them cracking and bleeding. It was literally the worst thing ever. I did that for a really, really long time, and then I ended up saying, it's not working. They're not working. I actually had to go to a job interview with my skin cracking, and I couldn't even put makeup over it because it would just make it worse. So down the line, I stopped taking them, and I just continued to struggle with acne. I graduated, still struggled with acne. Now, after I graduated, like that summer, I started my YouTube channel, and you guys can go back to my old videos. You guys, if I'm like vlogging, it's hard to tell with like nice cameras, but if I'm like vlogging and like bad lighting, like you guys could have seen it. I'm telling you, this is my skin right now though. And yeah, so you guys can see that. And then I basically started using this stuff called epiduo. I can actually grab it for you guys. So I believe that my doctor now just prescribes like the generic form because it's cheaper, but it's the same thing. It looks like this. It's adapalene and benzoyl peroxide. What I'll do is I'll put on my moisturizer after all of my other stuff, and then I'll put this stuff on top, and it's literally saved my life. It really helped clear up my brother's skin. It has a little bit of an effect where you might think your acne is getting worse for like a week, but okay, let's speak for myself, let's not speak for other people. When I use that continuously, it clears up my skin. If I run out and I don't have it, I'll start to break out again. So this stuff really was my holy grail. And actually the person who originally recommended that to us was our like doctor, like our family doctor, what the hell? No, like, just like when you go for your yearly checkups, your annuals, physicals. Yeah. He told me and my brother about it, and thank you so much. I love you. Oh, I love it. But I use that with other products that also really help. So, I'm definitely going to do an updated skincare routine for you guys, but this is just about like the story of eventually it started to get a lot better, and it got better and better and better and better. And since I wasn't going to school every day, and I didn't feel the need to cover up my acne, and I stopped using makeup, I noticed actually how a lot of makeup, like any foundation or anything that I was putting on my skin, was really frustrating my skin, making me break out. To this day, if I decide one night I want to put on a foundation, or even CC creams that I've tried, like the Laura Mercier breaks me out, I will get such bad acne. So I've learned that my skin is really not liking to a lot of foundations and CC creams and stuff like that. Which is like, how are you supposed to find that out if you're trying to cover up your acne every day? I get it, it's a struggle. Acne has affected my life. So let's go to now. My skin is good, I'm doing better. My point is, when you have an insecurity that runs your everyday life and the way you think about yourself and your self-worth, you think that once it's gone and you're like, okay, if I just get rid of my acne, if I just lose 10 pounds, if I just get braces and my teeth are straightened, I'm gonna be so much happier. And while I am so much happier and this doesn't control my life now, you just move on to something else you hate about yourself. It's really important that you guys learn to appreciate yourselves at every stage, but then also remember, you're allowed to change whatever you want. You're allowed to dislike something about yourself, but you're not allowed to belittle yourself and shame yourself every day and let it ruin your life like it ruined mine. You guys, I didn't take senior photos. I'm not in the senior yearbook. I didn't do so much stuff because of acne. How did I forget to mention that? I didn't take my senior photos. I'm not in the senior yearbook because my acne was so bad. At that time, I was like, okay, well, like, they'll have reshoots and maybe in 3 months from now, like, my skin will be better. No, it wasn't. So I'm not in my yearbook. It's so sad. Don't let stuff like that rule your life. I think that's all I want to talk about for this video. If you guys have any questions you want to ask me, leave them in the comments below. You guys can also DM me. I respond to, as long as you're not like a creepy man, I respond to all my DMs. I love talking to you guys so much, and I love you.